Over these last 4 weeks, I've had the pleasure of staying in one of my favorite places on Earth. For most people, this is just a cool, artsy, hipstery town to visit. But for me, this place holds a lot of sentimental value. The very first time I visited Joshua Tree was in 2017 for a retreat, where I ended up having back-to-back spiritual experiences throughout my entire time there. Prior to attending the retreat, I didn't believe in any sort of higher power. As a child, I was forced into going to Catholic church school every week, and back then I didn't agree with what was being taught, which ultimately warped my perception of the possibility of there even being any sort of higher power, or that psychic abilities were anything but superpowers portrayed in movies. This experience, however, completely changed life as I knew it. At the retreat, one of the hosts, Jen Sodini, held the first of several psychic abilities workshops. She instructed us to sit back-to-back with a partner, where one person would be the transmitter, focusing on whatever specific thoughts and feelings that they wanted, while the other, the receiver, focused on being present in their body in order to pick up on subtle cues that the other person is sending them. So essentially, I ended up getting paired up with this guy, Mike, and we decided to go outside and sit in a hammock back-to-back. So I thought, you know what? I really want to test the bounds of these psychic ability workshops. I want to see, are psychic abilities real, and can I actually successfully transmit an image to this person who can then receive it clearly? So I decided I was going to essentially replay a dream that I had of my Uncle Ronnie, who had passed away 2 years prior from lung cancer. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my uncle. I left work early that day to go to his house, and literally by the time I got out of work, he had already passed on, so I never got to say goodbye to him. My Uncle Ronnie was somebody that was extremely important to me growing up. He was one of the few people in my family that I felt really saw me for who I was, and I had an actual genuine connection with him, even though he was 20-something years older than me. But we were able to very much resonate with each other in a lot of ways when it comes to being out in nature and trying to see the good in life and trying to be good to the people around us, and to basically just live life to the fullest, go after your dreams. So he was very much just like me, or I guess I was very much just like him. I don't know. He was one of the few people in my family where it was evident to both of us that we were cut from the same fabric, unlike the majority of the rest of our family. But anyways, I digress. And so I decided, let's just reimagine this dream and just see what happens. And so essentially, I had this dream where my uncle and I were sitting in his old truck in the middle of this wheat field. And the wheat is this very crisp golden color, and it's so tall that it's actually towering above the truck windows, so you can't see anything in the surrounding area. We're just encompassed in this wheat, and he's in the driver's seat, I'm in the passenger seat, and I just hear crying, and I look over, and my Uncle Ronnie, he has his head in his hands crying, and I ask him, I'm like, Uncle Ronnie, what's wrong? And he said, I'm not ready to go. And I said, then don't go. And he said, but everyone else already decided for me. And as soon as he said that, I started crying, because I knew that was true. I knew that his cancer became so aggressive to the point that he wasn't the one making the choices anymore. In that moment, he reaches over from the driver's seat to the passenger seat and grabs my left hand. Now, while I'm asleep and while this dream is happening, I physically feel his hand grab mine. And he looks at me and he said, everything's going to be okay. And he smiles at me with his legendary smile that he always had on his face. And this entire time, I'm remembering this dream, and I'm playing this dream while I'm sitting back to back with this guy, Mike. And as soon as I get to the part of my uncle grabbing my hand, Mike literally has to do this weird, because we're sitting in a hammock. So he's turns around to find my hand and then grabs it. As soon as he grabs my hand, tears come running down my face, because I'm realizing holy shit, this is actually working. What I'm transmitting to him, he is receiving, even if it's not the full picture. He's getting bits and pieces enough to know to grab my hand basically. And just, I felt so emotional while Mike was holding my hand, just knowing that, okay, I guess there is a little bit more to the spiritual realm and psychic abilities and all of that sort of stuff that I, previously was closed off to, or previously just completely unaware of. And so we finish the exercise, we turn around, and he's, like, what exactly were you sending me? I felt like I needed to hold her hand. Are you okay? So he's just kind of like checking in to make sure I'm good. And I was like, yeah. And then I explained to him like the story and the dream and like the fact that I was just going through the whole dream. And then as soon as I got to the part of like my uncle reaching over to grab my hand and then him connecting the dots of like, oh my God, like I felt this overwhelming feeling like I wanted to like help soothe you. Like I needed to like let you know that you're okay. And he's like, and I just felt like I needed to grab your hand in that moment. And like, what an incredible experience we got to share together. And both of us, our minds were completely blown by the fact that like we were able to just pass information back and forth telepathically and be able to like pick up bits and pieces of like what we're sending to each other. So yeah, it was such an incredible experience, and it was the first one of many throughout that entire weekend. If you're interested in hearing an even crazier story from that retreat, I highly recommend that you check out Chapter 3 of my Diaries of a Black Sheep series, which is linked in the description box below. I share all that to say it has been so incredible to be back in the area, especially be able to spend an extended period of time, because I've been here a couple more times since that experience. What makes this time even more special is, one, I have Cody with me, and being able to share a place that's so special to you with someone who is so special to you as well is just, I mean, that's what life's about, isn't it? But it's just been really incredible to be in the area, to be in the energy of the place that originally opened my eyes to the fact that there is such thing as the spiritual realm. There is the unseen world that's constantly moving and flowing with or without our knowledge. And it's wild to think that I went, the first 27 years of my life thinking that there was no such thing as a higher power and that anything related to psychic abilities was just like woo-woo. But like being able to have the experiences for myself with my own two eyes and with my own body that's feeling all these feelings and experiencing all these things is such an incredible experience. And what's even crazier is that I never thought in a million years I would ever be able to go back to what is called the Rainbow House, which is where I had all of these experiences. And so I kind of just accepted like, the closest I can get is just driving by the property and being like, hey, house, like miss you, love you, whatever. And so this time when we got here, we drove past the house and I was like so excited to show Cody like, hey, that's the house that I had like all these crazy experiences that I've told you about. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's even like updated it because it looked way different. Back in the day, it was purple with a red roof. And now the whole entire thing is completely rainbow. And so after we drove past the house, my curiosity got the best of me. And I was like, I need to find this house, at least the Airbnb listing, because I really want to show Cody like what the inside looks like, and maybe there's more photos of the yard, which is where I had all these experiences, was like on the property, like in the backyard of the house. And I ended up finding the page for Rainbow Land JT on Instagram and was like, okay, here we go. At least I can kind of show you a few photos so you can like see what this house looks like, because it's super cool. Like the whole inside was all rainbow and like artsy and just such a vibe. I loved it. So I ended up coming across the page, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna follow it just because like I love the connection that I have with this house, whatever. And then like a week goes by and I just happened to be, scrolling on Instagram that morning, and I came across a reel for the Rainbow House. And it was actually Patrick, which is the owner of the house, as well as the artist that has created this incredible fairy tale feeling place. And he was sharing the fact that like, we're open today from 10 to 5, like stop in, come check out the art gallery and hang out in the backyard, take photos, whatever you want to do. And I was like, there is no way that this is like possible, because like I never thought in a million years I would ever be able to step foot on that property again. And so to be able to go back, especially to bring Cody to show him like, hey, like this is the spot that this thing happened and this is where this happened, and like, yeah, it was wild. And so we ended up taking a trip over there last Sunday, and I got to actually finally meet Patrick, and we ended up talking with him for quite a while and walked around the property and got to sit at the original piano that I was obsessed with the very first time I stepped foot on that property. I am extremely grateful that I got to go back to the Rainbow House and to bring Cody along and to show him all of the special things about the Rainbow House and all the places that I've had all these crazy experiences at. But yeah, I'm just extremely grateful, and I don't really know what else to say about it other than it's cool. But yeah, I'm actually very curious to know if you believe in a higher power and if you've ever had any sort of spiritual experiences that have re-solidified your belief in the higher power. If so, I would love for you to share those with me in the comments below, because it is literally one of my favorite things to talk about. And so I would absolutely love to hear about your experiences. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. But thank you so much for watching today's video. It truly means a lot to me. I do plan to share more about some of my spiritual experiences in future videos. So if this is something that you like, please give this video a thumbs up and maybe drop like a rainbow in the comments below to let me know you made it this far. All right, I'll see you soon. Thank you.